All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here live. Okay, we have a wonderful human being from the lovely state of Arizona, manager of the I was going to say Flagstaff, soon to be Flagstaff office, but currently Sedona. But you actually work both of them.
Yeah.
Patrick Clark. You hear the studio audience; they're going crazy over here. Calm down.
Nuts. They always do. I got a
Like in
thing.
the football games when you see them, like calm down. The quarterback.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Call play. All right, my man. Well, tell us a little about yourself. How you've been, maybe some of your current events that are going on, life's challenges. They probably everything. We all have life challenges as well. Not as crazy as yours recently, but let's hear it.
Yeah. So, thanks first of all for having me on today. Really glad to be here. And no, I've been a realtor about 7.5 years. I've been managing our Sedona branch for 2.5, something like that. Little about 2.5. I think I started April of 22. So yeah, about 2.5. And done a lot of sales, done a lot of deal doctoring. Office is killing it. Really, really proud of what we got. Love the culture of our office. Love our people. I feel like I'm pretty much in my element. I still get to sell a little bit and supplement my income that way. And yeah, so the personal stuff that's been going on, it's been it's just where do we start? But my son went down a couple years ago with basically long COVID, and we've been fighting through that. Some other chronic illnesses with a couple of other kids. I have five. Jenny can't keep her hands off me, so I don't know what to say about that. But anyways, I might not be a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is.
I was going to say you should just change the name to Forest.
The forest. I'll just stop right there. So no, it's been really, really rough. And I'm actually doing this Facebook Live from Rochester, Minnesota. I am at the Mayo Clinic with my son.
There's a reason we're late right there. We're giving you a hard
What's
time.
this guy doing here?
He walked. I could hear the door open. He's really quiet. You got to be. Thanks, Troy.
I've been doing a little bit of remote work while my son goes through a big treatment plan, and thanks to Troy and JT and you and the whole company and the people in the office, I've been able to support my son through a really challenging time, and we're coming home with a boy who's getting better. So yeah,
That's the most important thing is he's getting better, and he's going to be a little boy again and do all the little boy things.
Yep. And he's like getting to be a big boy. He's 14 now. What's that all about? I don't really get that. Because now like he and I match in mental age, and that's a little scary because the dude's cracking some really good jokes, and I'm trying not to laugh because I'm like, you shouldn't be saying that, but that's funny, so
I have the internet today, man. It's crazy.
But it's great, I'm loving watching him grow and be positive and thinking about his future again. So yeah, everything's been wonderful. And thanks to a great company, Berkshire Hathaway, for supporting me through that. I mean, this company has done some things for me that have been more than gracious and more than supportive, and super grateful. So
yeah, and I was just thinking when you were talking, what a swing of like you've gone from A to Z, from on tour with Darius Rucker to 5 kids at home, going away, taking your son to Minnesota, getting treatment and so forth. So going from rock star or country star, excuse me, to super dad and having to handle that. So congratulations for that's got to be a huge toll on you too, going from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard. It's a lot of learning. A lot of, when you go through stuff like this, you learn a lot about yourself, and I have my own like self doubts and, moments where I don't think I can, keep it going. And, I've had plenty of phone calls with JT and Troy where like I'm kind of pulling my hair out, and they've just really been there to bolster those moments where I needed some extra help, and it's been great because what I've learned about myself, I can bring back and contribute to the office. But you say super dad, and I don't know about that. I'm just trying to figure it out, but I could not do what I've been able to do with the company, with my careers, any of it, if I didn't have the wonderful wife that I have, and the strong homemaker that she is. Because I got to give credit where credit is due. She makes it possible.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. She's great. You're a good team, and this. I know I'm a dad too. I've got four. You've got five. I've got four, and there are times you're like, "Oh my God, I'm the worst father on the planet," but you're
uh,
really not. You're really
well,
not. There's
they
been
can tell you,
never.
they're one heck of a mirror. So
It's so true, isn't it? So true, isn't it? Yeah. But it's like with music, you know, once you learn and you have an understanding, and I call it stay in the pocket. Because you play like mostly lead on the fiddle. You stay in the pocket and play the medley, everybody reacts positively. Now your kids look at you and they go, "Yeah," and they don't care about that. They want other things from you, like
yeah.
time and support, and they need to be number one. And so it's just a whole. If that's why I say it's like A to Z when you're going from one extreme to the other, being a talented musician. You still are obviously on the road with names like Darius Rucker. That just had to be something. And then
Well,
now, best job in the world, being a dad. Okay, it's a little less glamorous, and they don't have a parade and all that stuff for you, but it's definitely the best job on the planet.
oh
Most
yeah.
important, I say.
Most fulfilling,
Yeah,
challenging, fulfilling, all of it. It's, yeah,
yeah.
nothing better.
Yeah, my son just called me, my youngest from Ohio State before the call, and those are my favorite calls when I'm talking to one of them or my daughter or my two in Connecticut. He wanted to call me about the election, which is behind us now. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So how's business in Arizona? How's things going up there?
So business in Arizona is really interesting. I actually just did some analysis a couple weeks ago. Well, I guess 3 or 4 weeks ago, before we came out here, and I actually just redid my recruiting presentation. So, I mean, real estate. I've got a listing down in Phoenix right now that's not performing well, and it's all market, right? I mean, they're underpriced. Everything that they've done, everything they can, and just everything kind of just stopped before the election. So I'm optimistic that in the next couple of weeks we'll see that listing in the valley um, improve in its performance. So one of the nice things about staying in the selling a little bit is that I get to feel this with the agents. So I'm not sitting in a glass house casting stones. And so I'm feeling the market. I'm like, huh, and it's making me think differently and just kind of stay centered, and I think in Sedona has always kind of been a bit of a not a bubble market in the way that you would think it's a real estate bubble, but they're in their own little bubble. The Sedona Verde Valley, and then we have some folks in Flagstaff. I think we have like 7 agents in Flagstaff now. I've just got I hired one more, so I think it's 8 now. So we're growing our market share up there, and the Flagstaff market is seasonally slowing down. So is the Sedona market, but it's just been a little tight. That being said, we're having a really good year. I a lag measure, a statistic that I'm really proud of is, as of a month ago, 46% of our office revenue is coming from agents who have had their licenses less than 3 years. So that's, yeah, and congrats to all the agents that are out there doing the work and getting that stuff done. Oh yeah, yeah, right there, yeah, yep.
Oh, the scoreboard,
PPP
man. Yeah.
good. Yeah, and so I'm given the circumstances, I really feel like our office is doing good, and I think the biggest thing I'm proud of, out of all those numbers, it's great. Those are cool numbers, and those are shiny, and a little bit of bragging rights, if you will, but they're the ones doing the work, and I think the coolest part about our office is the culture.
Yeah.
Everybody helps each other. Everybody's positive. We don't have a lot of drama. Everybody's just focused on doing their thing and helping each other out, and we do our thing. So
Yeah, you guys, like Nizreen, she's incredibly good. You just got Michelle Kubiak, who I
yeah,
coach as well. She's
what a human.
oh my
She's so
God. Okay, so you know the bunny with the symbols, bang, 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 bang.
That's
That's her.
her.
Yeah, Ever Ready or Energy Bunny. That's her. So she will. I keep telling her that they're not used to you up there. They will get used to you though. Just
Oh, I
because
love
she'll
it.
be on the phone, outdoor knocking. She'll be doing all the good stuff that absolutely works. And I know where you're located. That'll have a tremendous effect. The old expireds, she does it the right way, and she's a dynamite human to have around, and you'll see that. And by the way, it's her birthday today.
Oh, yeah, it is. I didn't get
Yeah,
the birthday report for her because I think she came in midstream. So I will. If you're
she's
watching, Michelle, happy birthday. But I'll
yeah.
give you a
Happy
call.
birthday, Michelle Kubiak. I call her Michelle Kubiak. You ought to no. You know that song. All right, you got to be a Billy Joel fan to like that one. But yeah, so the culture is incredible, and you've created. I mean, like, most of those people are there. Isaiah, Jared. Oh, what's her step? Sophie? No, what's her name?
Sonia Ashford.
Sonia, I love her too. Yeah, and Nizreen, you got the whole crew going on there. Now you got Michelle added in. Michelle will be a great add. But
Yeah.
that's from your recruiting efforts and so forth too. And the great thing about you is you just did the same thing you did in real estate. Talk to people, proactive activities, recruited people. And Sedona isn't a big pool to recruit from either, is it?
No, no, it's not. And it's interesting trying to like at first it was like, okay, I got to recruit, I got to do my, but how do I want to do this, and what are the fundamental things? And because I taught violin and I had my own violin studio, actually when I lived in Las Vegas, I had a large studio and I still gigged. And what were the things that brought students to me, right? And it was just being a good teacher. I really focused on doing that. And then when I found opportunities to invite students to my studio, I did. I mean, I was always looking for opportunities to grow my studio, but I grew my teaching, and I really feel like, if you bring a lot of value, and you try to show that value in the right ways, and you're not trying to just get somebody in the door, the right people come through. But I kind of focused on referral business, which is kind of how I run. Well, it's not kind of, it's how I run my personal sales business. And the vast majority of agents that are in our office right now have been referred to our office. A handful, some of the newer agents haven't been, but um, the agents have done that connection, that or made that connection, doing the connecting. And it's like, it's one of my favorite things to get a referral from a past client or a friend, right? Because it shows trust. And we're the same things happening in our office. And so the agents are really growing the office dominantly. They're bringing in people that they want to work with because they want to share their experience, and I think that's super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's so great. It's so great too. And I think the stock market, based on the election now, the stock market's gone crazy today. The Dow's
Has
up.
it? I haven't looked.
Huh?
I haven't looked.
Oh yeah. I mean, at one point up, it was 3 percentage points up in a day. I've never seen that before. Other than remember when we went way down with COVID, and there were days on the way back to recovering from it that happened. But I'm talking about just a normal day.
Wow.
The Dow's up. I mean, the Dow's up like 3 points. The S&P's at 2.5. It's a crazy day, and I think the Fed is meeting today, and I think that because Trump is so pro business, I would imagine that whatever they were going to lower the rates, they might even do a little better. And so yeah, so that'll be very helpful, and I think it'll affect consumer confidence too. So I think based on what's happening, I think we're heading into a really good season here, the end of the year, and definitely into next year. What we've been waiting for is, to make business a little bit better in real estate, because we've been, the last 2, 3 years, we've been down about 20, 25% transactionally. It'd be nice to put that back into the equation, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, and I think something that a lot of people don't realize, and it's just because they're not paying attention to stuff like that. They've got other things that matter to them. But I when I used to work at Basis, I had a great history teacher who actually turned into a client. I didn't even think about that, but he said something that was really profound to me that I just wasn't on my radar at that time. I was a gigging musician, and that's all I focused on. Right, I was always after the hustle and teaching and gigging, and some of this other stuff didn't matter quite as much at that time. But one of the things that he said was the Democratic Party typically regulates more. And this is like, by the way, you voted for who you voted for, and I'm not trying to cast a vote either way, or but this is something behaviorally that they've noticed. So I think when you see this change in the way the consumer sentiment is, in this kind of is it a bull market? I think that's when it really gets going. So when you see that, that's because I think a lot of people have the understanding that the Republican Party tends to deregulate things, right? It kind of loosens the shackles a little bit. So, as agents are watching this, I think it's really important to understand, well, why are we seeing the behavior? And it's because I think that pro-business approach, those sort of things, is a really positive thing. And as we see people get more comfortable, maybe they're going to make a little bit more money, which means that they can afford something finally, right? They can get off the sidelines. And if we see the rates drop, the Fed drops the rates, well then, yeah, I feel like if you have been doing what you need to do as a realtor right now, where you've been making your calls, you've been keeping up with your people, like in the next couple weeks, it might be that your phone starts to really ring. And maybe even today, all of a sudden the phone starts to ring. Well, why is that? Well, because we're seeing positive behavior in the stock market.
Right.
So I don't know if you disagree or agree, but that's kind of
I do.
view.
I do. And if he lowers the corporate tax again, that's just pro business, and and it irritates some people. But from I'm looking at it from our, we are all independent contractors, solo entrepreneurs, all our agents, right? So that playing field does make it better for them, and with the interest rates coming down, and all these good things happening at the stock market. Stock market is the first indication. Just the fact that the election's over, it was going to affect it positively. But now, with Trump getting elected, and once again, I agree with you. Whoever you voted for, I still love you. But
Right.
I think that it's going to increase the market. And I would, like, with my when I used to sell real estate, my team, I used to jokingly say to them, "Okay, folks, the phone works both ways. It works two ways: incoming and outgoing." So right now, I would be on the outgoing, calling everybody in my database in my CRM and checking in, especially if they said, "Well, I want to see what's going to happen with the election." Right? I love that as an objection. 2-3 months before an election, like, what do you think is going to happen? I mean,
Well, there's going to be a new president.
my
You know,
favorite line is, "Democracy is on the ballot." Come on, we're not going to, depending, even if Kamala won or Trump, democracy is going to be fine. We're going to
right?
make it through this. Okay, that always
Yeah.
cracks me up when they get so extreme. But all that extreme now is gone for at least 4 years, and we can be productive for 4 years until that craziness comes back. You can blame the media for that too, because they're terrible.
Oh, they're so bad. And there's a book, actually. We're doing a book club at my office, doing 7 levels of communication, and I mean, so much of what we're going through right now. It was kind of an accidental, like, hey, let's do a book club. 7 would be a good place to start, and it's like, wow, it is just lining up with everything that we really need to be doing right now. And it's so simple, guys. It's so simple. For those of you that watch, and I know we're having a conversation, but we're also trying to, like, hopefully the people that are listening are going to take away something from this. And it's and it is so important to just talk to people and know your daily revenue commitment, and have conversations and see where people are at. Because if you don't make that call, then everybody's missed the opportunity to use a really great practitioner because you were too scared to talk to him, right? And that's really what it is. And man, like, what a great time to understand where people are at and start making plans even for next year, right? If they're not going to do anything until after Christmas, okay, well, I've got one. I do have one that's like, well, I'm not going to overpay for a house. Well, I'm going to see how the life. So, dude, we've been doing this for like 3.5 years. Are you ever going to buy a house? And it's okay, but there's, getting down to the reasons why people are or are not. Who do they know that might be are or not selling? All of that stuff.
Mhm.
It's a great time to get on the phone. In fact, it's never a bad time. But now's a
Never
great
a
time.
bad time to get on the phone because there's so many great things about it. Like you just said, it makes you better at communication. It fills your pipeline. There's also a karmic event that happens when you notify the universe that I want more business, so I'm taking positive actions. There's just so many great. It's like working out, right? It does so many things for your body, your mindset, your spiritual, everything. Uh, Being proactive for your business has so many reciprocal benefits. It's crazy.
I agree, and you're a big on working out, right? 7 days a week for you, and I worked out pretty regularly until Daniel was born. He's now 6, but I since I've been out here in Rochester, I've been working out every other day, just getting my strength back so that I can do some full body stuff. And man, I can feel the difference. Like it's huge. And I'm like, you know what, you dummy, you should have been doing this the whole time. Self talk. I don't say that to other people, but it's like, man, like you knucklehead, you've been telling everybody else to do it, but yeah, it's time to eat some of your own cake.
Yeah.
So,
No,
anyways,
I agree. I agree. Like you mentioned ADHD, and I'm also, I'm a little older than you, so I think I'm the actual poster child for ADHD. And I know that working out is the number one reason why I'm able to deal with it because I get up, I do an hour and a half workout every morning, a pretty strenuous one too, and I go from this hyper energy to a more focused energy. My heart rate is better, everything is better. But if I don't do that, it's a whole different day for me.
interesting. Yeah, I'm not HD. I wonder if you're like ADHD. I'm more the inattentive version, but I totally agree. I mean, and I mean, outside, even if you don't have it, like the it's not cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone, but the dopamine,
Yeah,
and all of the just the good stuff that your body needs to be cycling through, it's there, and your capacity is better, right? You got better margins in your brain.
right.
You can sort through stuff. The stress is manageable. It's
Yeah.
all good. Yeah,
There's no downside.
I don't see
You know,
one.
it's like my joke, like in my little book, Success is a Verb. One of my favorite lines is, "Money makes nothing worse."
Agreed.
Do the math. Well, I have to pay more taxes, but you have more money. All right. So I'm not saying you need to be greedy. I'm just saying money
True.
makes nothing worse. It gives you freedom. It gives you choices. It gives you options. Right. So I always recommend. All right. So just give us a quick list of your top three. I'm an agent. I want to be successful in today's world. What would be the top three things you tell them?
Time block.
Time
Okay.
block. Oh, Troy. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
You have to, like, look, if you went to high school, like my kids are homeschooled, but if you went to high school, you ended first period and you went to second period, then you went to third period. And if you didn't do your work in class, it was generally homework unless they had extra homework. Some did, some didn't. But do what you need to do, like during that time. Like, don't let the distractions get to you. Treat your time like you're in the dentist chair,
Yeah.
right? If there's a dentist and they're drilling in your mouth, okay, you're probably not going to take that call. So if you can respect the dentist enough to like stay present in that moment so that they're not like drilling into your cheek or something, like respect your business enough, respect your family enough, respect your friends enough to be able to have time for them because you did what you needed to do during the day. This
Mm.
is the number one biggest problem that people don't do. And if they would just stick to their time blocking, a lot of these other things would kind of work themselves out. That's number one. Number two is uh, lead generate when you said you were going to, right? Because if nobody knows you're there, nobody's going to ask for help, right? So, and the last part is like look at your numbers every day, right? You need to know where you're at. If you don't know where you are, then you don't know what to do. So, did you hit your daily revenue commitment, right? If you didn't hit your daily revenue commitment, why didn't you? And if you want a fourth bonus one, get an accountability partner or coaching and or both, right?
Yeah. If you're
You
in your
have
office,
to be
you do
accountable.
coaching. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. I
and
mean, So
It's
somebody
good.
asked me the other day, what was the what's the one thing I could change this year to make my life a lot of business? I said, start using that number analyzer that I send out to everybody every day, or at least a few times a week. By Friday, you should have all those days in. You should never let that, you can miss a day here and there, but by Friday, you need to be caught up before the weekends, entering your numbers as to what you're doing. And then you start having ratios. Hey, every time I talk to 16 people, I set an appointment. Every time, right? Then you start knowing exactly what you got to do to get the make the money you want to make, right?
And if like you've got a couple different places where you get business from, like where do you need to lean in more? Like which is the ROI? We talk about that all the time. Like and just coming from my point of view, from where I'm coming from in my life, and the strain and the stress and just everything that I've gone through, I've gotten to this point where I I have to spend more time at home. I have to. And a lot of the reasons why I wasn't giving my family my best is straight up time mismanagement,
Right.
because I allowed myself to get distracted, and I got emotionally involved in stuff that I shouldn't have been emotionally involved in. You know what I mean? I just let it really take too much of my energy, and I had
Yeah.
nothing left. And then because I got distracted, and I'm a driver and I'm still going to get done what I need to get done, I sacrificed my family, and you don't want to do that.
No.
So like just stick to it. Like be disciplined. And I know that sounds really like harsh the way I'm saying it, but it's true. Like rip the band-aid off. Take care of business, time block, make your calls, watch your numbers, and everything takes care of itself.
Amen, my brother. Well, awesome. And that was a great way to finish. I just want to say thank you very much. I know you're busy. You got things going on. Thanks for very much for taking your time out today. We really appreciate it. This
Thanks for
has been
having me.
all right, my man. Thank you.
All right.
Bye,
We'll see
everybody.
you later.
Bye,
Toodaloo.
Patrick. See ya. Bye, everybody.